This customer called in with a gas leak and everyone else told her she was crazy, and I was about to too, but it turns out she wasn't. She started smelling gas in her home, so she called a plumbing company and they came out, checked for leaks and found nothing, so they told her, well, there's nothing we can do. But she kept smelling it, so she called another company. They came out and said the same thing, so she decided to call the gas company instead, who after a while finally found something, but they told her that it was this ball valve that you see on this line to the furnace, and so they replaced that, but she still smelled the gas in her house. So she called the gas company again, and they said the same thing as the other companies, that there's no leak, there's nothing they can do. So she decided to call somebody else, and that's how I got sent out here. And there are two important things that are important to know. She said she would only really smell it downstairs in her hallway in the middle of the night when she would go downstairs for water. And every time she smelled it, she said she could smell it from the return air, which is located under the staircase. And she said that was exactly where she smelled it every single time. But when the other companies would check there, they didn't find anything on their combustion meter, and they never smelled it either. The other thing to know is that you're not actually smelling gas, you're smelling mercaptan, which is a chemical added to gas specifically for that reason, so that we can smell it and detect a leak, so that a gas leak just doesn't go unnoticed. But considering every other company hadn't actually done a proper air test on the system or pumped the system up at all, that was the first thing I did to see if there's any leaks, to see if the lines were holding pressure at all, which they did. And I was also not smelling anything anywhere, and with my gas detector I wasn't picking up anything either. And I started to think, kind of like the other companies, well, maybe this lady's just smelling something else. And she was watching me run all my tests, and I could tell she was getting really frustrated because I wasn't finding it. Not frustrated at me, but frustrated at the fact that nobody was able to help her out. But I've been married long enough to learn a few things, and one of those being women have really great intuition, and you shouldn't downplay their feelings. Trust me, that's a bad idea. But then it dawned on me what it could be, since she was smelling it in the return, even though I couldn't, to open up the unit outside and see if the valve was leaking inside the unit. And turns out that's exactly what it was. And when I told her, I've never seen someone so relieved to find out that they had a gas leak. Which also makes sense why the gas company thought the leak was there and changed out that shutoff valve. Their meter probably picked up something right there, but maybe they didn't investigate further to pinpoint exactly where it was. So I got the parts ordered, came back and swapped it out and got her heat on, made sure everything was working properly and that there was no more leaks, and she was beyond ecstatic. And this is how you land a customer for lifetime. Things that you might not think matter or aren't a big deal could matter a lot to somebody else. So if you're providing a service for somebody, you got to do what it takes to solve their problems, and it goes a very long way. But I was super happy to help this customer, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.